Hi, I'm Dr. Mo Gelbart. I'm the Executive Director of the Thelma McMillan Center at Torrance Memorial Medical Center, and we're extremely proud of the almost 30 years that we have in the South Bay community. We're committed to providing first-class treatment in the community, and we've actually helped thousands of people over the almost 30 years we've been here. We have a unique situation as an intensive outpatient program that is part of a major medical center. And in addition, we're supported by the McMillan Family Foundation. We've helped, as I said, thousands of people in recovery here in the South Bay. And probably the thing I'm most proud of in our program is our staff. We have an incredible, dedicated staff. They have probably more than 200 years experience just working in our program. They have more than 300 years of personal recovery, which means they walk the walk as well as just talk the talk. We have access to all the resources at Torrance Memorial Hospital, including media services, public relations, the physicians and the medical staff, and all their support in general. We have a state-of-the-art facility at the Thelma McMillan Center, and as I said, we've done really excellent work over all these years. You know, our work starts with a comprehensive initial evaluation, which there's no charge for. And then when a person is appropriate for our program, we provide a program of individual counseling, family counseling, relapse prevention, cognitive behavior therapy, trauma-informed therapy, mindfulness, lectures and education, nutrition, and other topics. In addition to our treatment program, we also do a lot of community resources. We've established ourselves as the place to go to if somebody has a question or an issue about substance abuse or chemical dependency. We make sure we get people to the proper care. Not everybody's appropriate for our services, and we always ensure that they go to, whether it's a residential program, a psychiatrist, a therapist, an AA meeting, but we never turn anybody away. We also are involved very deeply with the school districts. We put counselors in every school district in the community. We do training for faculty and staff and parents, as well as community organizations. We we host professional groups every month, and we also host a number of 12-step meetings. So again, we've made a commitment to being in the South Bay, and we have our footprint deeply embedded here. Hi, I'm Dr. Mo Gelbart. I'm the Executive Director of the Thelma McMillan Center, and I'm pleased to give you some information about our program. We're proud of our almost 30 years here in the South Bay community. We've been committed to providing evidence-based, first-class treatment and have helped thousands of people in this area. We have a unique situation in that we're an intensive outpatient program which is attached to and assigned to. You're gonna have to edit that. I'm sorry. You can start again.
You can pick up where you left off.
Okay. We have a unique intensive outpatient program in that we are part of a major medical center, Torrance Memorial Hospital. In addition, we are also supported by the McMillan Family Foundation. We have a great program, but the thing that is most important about our program that I believe is our staff. Our staff is unique. It is incredibly dedicated. As an example, our staff members have more than 200 years experience just working in our program. In addition, they have more than 300 combined years of experience in their own personal recovery, which means they walk the walk as well as just talk the talk. We start our program with a comprehensive initial evaluation at no charge, where we determine what a person actually needs. If they need our program or meet the requirements of our program, we provide individual counseling, family counseling, trauma-informed therapy, relapse prevention, cognitive behavior therapy, mindfulness. We have lectures and education, and make sure that they have healthy lifestyles, including exercise and nutrition. As well as our treatment program, we found over the years we have turned into an excellent community resource. We are the place to go to if people need information or have questions about anything to do with substance abuse. We provide counselors to every school district in the community. We provide training to faculty, staff, parents, variety of organizations, and we host professional groups and 12-step meetings at our center. Again, we're extremely proud of the work we've done and look forward to continuing that in the South Bay. Hello, I'm Dr. Mo Gelbart. I'm the Executive Director of the Thelma McMillan Center, the intensive outpatient program at Torrance Memorial Hospital. You know, an intensive outpatient program is often thought of as lesser than or less treatment than a residential program. In reality, when appropriate, intensive outpatient program is actually the preferred mode of treatment. What we do is we assess the appropriateness in a comprehensive, no-cost initial assessment. What we look for is a patient's motivation, previous attempts at treatment, their social support system, how they handle structured time, can they stay clean and sober for 24 hours, what is their drug of choice, and are there community triggers? If they are appropriate for our program, the benefits of an intensive outpatient program are: one, they get to stay at home and work and increase their family involvement. Families are able to come to many more groups and get involved in their own 12-step or other support program. It's a fraction of the cost of a residential program, and our program is covered by most insurances. Most importantly, I believe, they get sober in the community that they live in and develop their support system while in our treatment program. We work with a lot of people who go away to treatment. They can go to the best treatment centers in the world, but when they return home, in some ways it's like starting all over again. In fact, many of the people who do go to residential programs, when they do come home, they come to our program and spend the 9 months within our program anyway. What we know is that the longer somebody's in care, the better their chances are of maintaining their recovery. We also have a flexible program, meaning somebody can come in the mornings or in the evenings, depending on their personal or work schedule. While in an intensive outpatient program like ours, they remain under the care of their physicians, their psychiatrists, their therapists, which is really important. Or if they need, they can develop that kind of level of professional care that will continue with them in the years to come. Finally, they learn to deal with real-life issues in their real-life situations. So all in all, please don't think of intensive outpatient program as a less than, but in many times it's a more than appropriate treatment. Hi, I'm Dr. Mo Gelbart, the Executive Director of the Thelma McMillan Center at Torrance Memorial Hospital. We have a teen adolescent intensive outpatient program. This may come as no surprise to you, but teens are very difficult to treat. In the almost 15 years we've had our program, I'd say there's maybe 1 or 2 teens who actually wanted to come on their own. Most are brought by their parents or sent by some other community figure. But it's really interesting that in a very short time, kids learn that when somebody cares about them and wants to help them, that they give in and be okay with that. Often the issue is the parents are in denial. You know, the studies show that a parent generally takes about 2 years before they know what's going on with their child. So as a result of what we've learned over the years, we're beginning to focus on early intervention. It's really important. Most teens will not become addicted to drugs and alcohol. Only about 10%, even though many are experimenting with substance abuse. Instead, the real problem that we see is what we call unintended negative consequences. You know, oftentimes a parent will come in and say, well, my child's not so bad, and they're doing everything that other kids are doing. And then we say to them often, well, come back and see us when it's really bad. Obviously, we don't want that to occur. The big issue, as I said, is unintended negative consequences. What happens to kids when they start even experimenting a little bit with drugs and alcohol is I have the analogy of as if they're walking in a field of landmines, and they can step on any landmine at any time. What are those landmines? What happens to kids who start experimenting? Well, their grades go down, their self-esteem goes down, they could have health issues, they have sexual issues in relation to STDs, sexually transmitted disease, or unwanted pregnancies. And then they go to the more serious issues like car accidents and wind up in either hospital or I gotta do this over. Sure. Don't have it. Start again, okay? Yeah.
Let's wait for the plane, too.
Oh yeah, I didn't think of that. You're lucky you don't have that all day, right? You do?
No.
Oh, you haven't you're not doing videos all day.
No, it hasn't been too bad. I mean, occasionally a plane goes by, and it's not the end of the world. But
They did one, I remember, they did that remind me, they wanted to do a TV show of some sort, and they filmed us. And our center is actually right across from the airport.
Yeah.
And they really couldn't get it all day. The planes were all day flying over it. So anyway, here we go again. Ready? Go.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mo Gelbart. I'm the Executive Director of the Thelma McMillan Center at Torrance Memorial Hospital. I want to talk to you today about our teen and adolescent intensive outpatient program. This may come as no surprise to you, but teens are difficult to treat in an outpatient setting. For the most part, they don't want to be there. It's very rare, although over the 15 years we've had our program, occasionally a teen has actually come in wanting help. Interestingly, in a very short time, many of them give in and are pleased that somebody cares enough about them to assist them and provide the help that they really want, because all kids really want to be well and healthy. Sometimes the problem is with their parents. Parents are often in denial. In fact, it takes a parent about 2 years to find out what their child is really up to and really doing. Parents will often come in and say, my child's not that bad. They're no different than any of their friends. And we tell them, okay, well, if that's the case, then come back when they're really in bad shape. But what we really want to do is have an early intervention. We don't really want to wait till they're down the road in their drug and alcohol use. The interesting thing is most teens will not become addicted. Okay? Only about 10 to 12% will actually have an addiction problem in their life. Although that rises, the percentage of that rises with the earlier the use starts, the more likely they are to have an addiction problem. Really, the problem that we've found is what we call unintended negative consequences. In other words, what happens to a teen when they're using that they didn't intend to happen, and oftentimes it's quite damaging to their lives. What are some of those unintended negative consequences? Well, it begins with school. Things like grades begin to fail, friends that they have begin to leave them, and they begin to turn to a different level of friends than their parents are used to them having. Self-esteem changes, their self-esteem lowers. They begin acting out sexually often, sometimes resulting in sexually transmitted disease or unwanted pregnancy. They have health issues, illnesses. They may have legal issues, an arrest. And by the way, even a simple arrest for a drug or alcohol issue can lead to problems eventually when they go to college, getting a college loan, when their FAFSA application asks them, have you ever had any legal problems? They may be denied that college loan. There are other unintended negative consequences which are much more serious, often leading, believe it or not, to injury and even death, either death of others via car accident or themselves. I have way too many kids who have died as a result of Xanax use, drug use. Oftentimes drugs in the street these days are laced with fentanyl. So kids don't know what they're taking, and it doesn't mean they have to be addicted and take a lot of pills in order to have that fate. The other one is the obvious driving under the influence. And again, way too many stories of kids who have killed someone or killed them or died themselves in an accident. And again, I've worked personally with some of these children, and they're not addicted. They're just kids who used when they shouldn't have used and got behind the wheel. So it's the unintended negative consequences we want to help avoid. And again, the earlier we get someone, the better it is. Actually, neuroscience helps us in this we've learned over the years that a teenage brain develops really over 25 years. We used to think it was developed in 5 or 6 years. But a teenager's brain is still developing, and putting drugs or alcohol into that developing brain can cause severe problems that will last really a good part of their life. So we like to do an initial evaluation. We've learned over the years that the person we evaluate first are the parents. We make sure the parents are on board, and if they are, and we tell them what treatment is all about, then we'll work with the teen. Neuroscience tells us that the earlier the intervention, the better the results will be. In fact, the earlier kids start using, the more likely they are to become addicted. Someone who starts using at the age of 12 has about a 16% chance of going to addiction, and eventually it goes down to, if they wait till they're 21, when their brain is almost fully developed, their possibility of addiction reduces to only about 3 or 4%. As I said, the teenage brain is developing. It develops over the course of the first 25 years of our lives, and it's really, really important during that time to not interfere with that development by using drugs or alcohol. What we do in our program is an initial assessment, and what we've learned over the years is the people to assess first are the parents. So we meet with the parents, go over what the situation is, and make sure they're committed, because one thing about treating any adolescent, but certainly in an intensive outpatient program, the parent involvement is essential. It's not the kind of illness or problem where a parent will drop their child off at a center and say, I'll pick you back up in 6 months and you'll be all better. So we meet with the parents, do an initial assessment, and if they're on board, then we'll meet with the child, assess, and make sure they're appropriate for our treatment.